Hello, everybody. My name is Meg Moonbeam from Beyond Mystic, and I'm here with the one and only ASHALA. And we are so happy to be here. I'm feeling very, very excited for our first new weekly show called As Above, So Below. Yay, ASHALA, how are you doing?
I'm doing so great, Meg. I'm super stoked to be here as well. And we just chatted for a minute or two before we came on live. And Meg was explaining to me that we are actually going to be at the portal of this eclipse by the end of the show. Wow.
Yeah.
Is
How
that,
crazy. I
that's
don't know how I didn't think about that earlier, that we're literally doing this. The exact eclipse is at 8:34 p.m. Eastern time. So you're 3 hours behind me, right, Ashala?
yes, yes.
So that's what, 5:43 p.m. for you?
5:43 p.m. for me. Oh
Yeah.
my
So
goodness.
we're right in
We're
this
right on it.
portal. JVF Beauty Club says, wow. Yeah. Wow. And Amore says, launching a new voyage here. Yay.
Mhm.
Yeah, we've been kind of preparing for this show for a while, that we really want to, I guess we can each speak on it a little bit, Shala. We want to bring a different energy
Mhm.
to the weekly shows on Beyond Mystic, a different kind of option every week of something to watch, where we go into, bringing the astrology and the tarot together, bringing Ashala and I's energies together. So we're so excited. So before we get into that, Ashala, let's just mention a few housekeeping things as usual.
Mhm.
Please remember, you guys, to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube and Rumble channels. We've been having quite a few people getting unsubscribed lately, so make sure that you are subscribed. And of course, you can find Ashala's awesome psychic tarot readings over at consultations.beyondmystic.net. And the link is in the description below. And my personal astrology readings also available at consultations.beyondmystic.net. So yeah, Ashala, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. And thank you so much for doing that. Meg, you're so pro at those. I'm going to get better and better
Yeah.
as time goes by, but I really appreciate that. And yeah, I feel like, as Meg was saying, what we are bringing is we're bringing these perspectives of, I want to say, all around the edges of the larger topics,
Mhm.
what people can do in their day-to-day lives to feel like they're really making a difference, how they can tune in to what's happening above, being the astrological configurations, and then how to implement that, how to bring that into your daily life, into your personal practice, into your personal growth. And I really feel like, just like drops in the ocean, every little bit of our energy that we can channel and heal and transform and grow in upgrading our frequency at this time, it makes such a profound change for all. So I'm really happy that we're doing this
Oh,
together.
yay. Me too. I feel really good about it. And, I don't think we didn't plan this day. We kept trying to find a Tuesday that we were going to start doing the show. And then it just happened to be this Tuesday, which is, the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, that I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware is today, exact. Which, we only have eclipse seasons once every 6 months. So this is a pretty big freaking deal. Very big energy. And I wanted to ask you, Ashala, how do you feel with eclipses when we have eclipse seasons? Is there anything you feel typically or notice around eclipses? Do you actively work with them in any kind of way?
I do actively work with them. I understand that they are about taking us, oftentimes into things from the past. They're really about whatever sign they're in, they're about stirring that energy and activating it. And they're an opportunity for us to learn more and heal and grow. So, yeah, I notice them. I always feel
Mhm.
somehow that they're an invitation for me to get to know myself a little better. And you were mentioning, Meg, about how the dream time has been really affected by
Mm.
this particular eclipse. and what we're heading into here. And I have noticed that in my own personal life. And we were both mentioning that we used to be really vivid dreamers like a few years back, and that lately, with all the energy and all the chaos in the collective, the dreams have been, mine have been just a little bit more, I want to say almost like housekeeping sort of dreams.
Mhm.
I used to have really big, profound, prophetic dreams and dreams with really big messages in them. Well, that has come back. I want to say since Lionsgate, I've been noticing that my dreaming has been really potent. And when I say that, what I mean is that there's big messages in my dreams. So I'd like to hear what the astrology is saying about that for all
Yeah.
of
For sure. And it's so funny because when I do my daily astro shows, Ashala, I'm seeing, every day I see people's comments about how they're feeling each day. And today and yesterday in the live comments, way more people than usual saying, I had crazy dreams last night, very vivid, very prophetic, very interesting. Sometimes things come up in dreams that were like, okay, why is that happening? I had a dream 2 nights ago where I was in a delivery room in a hospital, and there was a woman giving birth, and I was standing in front of the bed that the woman was giving birth. And during the dream, I could remember, I knew exactly who that woman was, and it was someone that was very close to me. But then when I woke up out of the dream time into the waking life, I couldn't remember anymore who the woman was, but it felt like actual real life. And I'm not quite sure what the heck that means as of yet, but it's very Piscean, like things that are very symbolic, very spiritual, metaphorical, that may not make sense in the moment, but very important, you guys, to pay attention to your dreams at this time. And maybe they will like make sense to you right away, but good to like have a dream journal, write them down. Because I find, and let me know what you think, Ashal, I find with Pisces, sometimes it doesn't make sense right away, but it will make sense in time as we work with that energy.
That's a great point. And yes, I feel like Pisces is sort of hidden in a way and a bit cryptic, right?
Yeah.
So because it's like you're speaking through the subconscious. So it's almost like looking through a big bowl of water or something. It's very distorted.
Yeah.
But it does come clear. I agree with you. And it's so interesting because we were just talking on the Beyond Mystic platform over a week ago about courses that we would like to bring forward into the platform in the next few months. And an analysis of dreams is one of the ones that I'll be offering. So this is just so interesting that we're talking about that. And I'd love to talk more about that as it gets closer to the time.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. I remember you saying something about another course. I won't say that unless you say that, but I'm so happy to hear that you're going to be doing dreams as well, because that's so important and something that, in our mainstream society gets just washed out like, oh, your dreams aren't real. That's just your imagination. It's like, no, that's very, very real. Very important. What comes up in the dream.
Definitely. And there's so many different types of dreams. I feel like sometimes they're very therapeutic. Sometimes they're prophetic. A lot of times I feel like they're an opportunity for us to, I want to say, look at something, play it out in the safety of that subconscious realm, so that we can integrate whatever the lessons are without maybe having to go to some of those extremes in our waking life, right? Like it's a safe place. I always think of them as a type of therapy on some level. It's like, our psyche is going in and doing work while we're sleeping. And so there's lots of different ways to understand and work with the different styles of dreams. And that's what I'll be talking about. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. And before we get into the astrology and tarot reading, and we're going to do something very special in our inaugural show that we'll get to, we got a few comments here, Ashala, asking about if people don't remember their dreams. So Laura Hicks says, I absolutely never ever dream, with a crying emoji. And Vicky says, what about not remembering your dreams?
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating. The other thing you can do is when you are waking up, you can also do a little thing I call dream divination, where you basically listen to your thoughts as you're waking up. You know, you're kind of like half awake, and before you rush and go, oh, I got to, jump out of bed and go do this, or whatever, if you take a moment and just almost like listen and hear if there's any little message. Sometimes I'll hear a little song in my head when I wake up in the morning, and I actually started asking, like, okay, if I were to imagine a song right now, what would it be? And then usually a song comes, and the word, like whatever the lyrics of that song are, is almost like a little mini divination to tell me a little bit about maybe what I was working on in the dream time and what I might be bringing into the day. And of course, you can also use tarot cards to do that. You can wake up in the morning and pull a card while you're still in that almost like between the realms state, and then meditate on that card, like put it up, on a little altar or mantelpiece or something, and then meditate on that card during the day. And then at the end of the day, come back, and then you can look up what it officially means. But it's just really nice to look at the image and maybe tune in with that, because I feel like even if we don't remember our dreams, we bring that memory with us into waking. And another thing that is very good is, when you get into the shower right after you wake up, like any time that you're connecting with water, which is very Piscean and very much about the subconscious, you are likely to have maybe just a little wisp of a feeling or a phrase that comes in your mind, and that can give you an indication of where you were when you were sleeping.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That is such good advice. I absolutely love that.
Cool.
So cool. And for me, something that I love to do when I remember to do it, I don't always remember to do it, but throughout the day, saying, tonight I will remember my dreams. Right? Tonight, I will go to meet my soul-appointed spirit guides. That's something I like to say, or my higher self, or my ancestors in my dreams. And I promise you guys, if you really mean that when you say that, and saying things out loud, right? Abracadabra, we create when we speak. It really helps to manifest it, for sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So cool. Okay. So, well, we'll just say before we get too far into the show, what we're going to do. So, of course, today's main theme really is we're introducing the show, and we're doing this on a full moon lunar eclipse. So we're going to be, talking about Pisces, talking about the full moon lunar eclipse, and we're going to do special readings for each of the elemental sign groups. So we'll do a collective reading for the eclipse. We'll do an astrology reading for the eclipse. And then we'll talk about the earth, air, fire, and water signs and their eclipse readings with the astro, with the tarot. So I just got to say, I love your energy, ASHALA, and I feel really happy to work with you. And I feel like we got a similar vibe. So I'm just
You do, Big. I always love listening to you, and I'm like, yes, thank you for taking everyone in this direction. And I really appreciate it. Very uplifting.
Yay, thank
But
you.
very uplifting also in a way that isn't about denying the truths or what's going on or anything. It's really about integrating that information, and how do we work with it, how to transform it into something useful for us.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. So, okay, let's take a look, you guys, at the astrology chart for today's full moon lunar eclipse, which, as we said at the beginning of the show, is going to be exact in just over an hour from when we're filming this live. So at 8:34 p.m. Eastern time, exact full moon lunar eclipse. But when we have full moons or new moons or eclipses, well, eclipses are a little bit different, but when we've got very big lunations, we're in the portal the 3 days before and the 3 days after. So even if you don't have time exact today would be, a really good time to do it. But making some time to be in natural alignment with these as above, so below energies, making some time either today or over the next few days to do some reflection, do some release, do some healing, do some, Pisces is all about spiritual meditation practices, dream work as well, right? And I don't know if you know this, ASHALA, but this full moon in Pisces is, of course, in Pisces, conjunct Neptune, the ruling planet of Pisces.
Oh, wow. Tell me a little bit more about that, Meg.
So I mean, full moons, eclipses, and new moon eclipses are in astrology. We call it like new moons or full moons on steroids. Like it's way stronger than a regular new moon or full moon, right? So full moons are a time of release, completion, illumination. New moons are times of new beginnings, setting intentions, fresh energy, right? So this is really Piscean for not just today, not just this eclipse season, but full moon eclipses have an effect for the whole next 6-month period. Wow. So astrology is a lot of different cycles. So we're actually under the influence of this chart for the next 6-month period. We're also going to be under the influence of the chart of the new moon solar eclipse on October 2nd for different areas, right? This is about where we're releasing, where things are being revealed, which we're going to talk about. Pisces is some pretty intense things. And then the new moon solar eclipse for the whole next year period is activating what we're starting new, what we're calling in that's in alignment, which is Libra, all about relationships. So, what's interesting too is all the eclipses in Pisces, which this is our first eclipse in Pisces in 9 years. So the eclipses are moving into the Pisces Virgo axis, right? All of the eclipses in Pisces will be lunar, full moon. There will be no new moon eclipses in Pisces, which is pretty rare. Usually they juggle in between on the axis. So this is the universe calling us to do some major release work around those Pisces Neptune ruled areas, which is karma, the subconscious, our addictions, right? Our wounds. Pisces is one of the more challenging signs in astrology. It's beautiful because it rules the spirit world and creativity and oneness and all that. But it's also very challenging because it has no boundaries. It's about dissolving. It's about healing institutions, health, also health issues. Virgo and Pisces is the health axis. So huge theme for the whole next 6 months is health and healing institutions and pharmaceuticals. Being cleansed from us in the medical astrology. So that's happening whether you like it or not. So one of the things I suggest is to proactively do detox and cleansing. And I'm not like a natural health medical expert, but just saying that's the medical astrology, right? So that's happening to all of us, things that have been injected. Pisces is things that have been injected, or pharmaceuticals in medical astrology being cleansed out very intensely over the next 6 months. And I think information being revealed around, and this actually came up, ASHALA, when Janine and I just did our Navigating the Woo episode around not just, shots, experimental procedures, all pharmaceuticals, but also experimental procedures that have been done to people that want to change their bodies. We'll be careful of the ins and outs we say here on YouTube. There's a lot of really intense health-related issues and information coming up. That'll be the more challenging side of this eclipse influence. More of the positive side will be a lot of people spiritually awakening because holy guacamole, this is Pisces Neptune.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God.
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
What do you feel like, ASHALA, when you look at this chart?
When you said that about it's shining, this is like it's all the full moons. And when you're saying the full moons are about, bringing something to light, really shining a big spotlight on it. I always think about that with the full moons. And also the point of being able to release it, like it's the completion of a lot of these things. So when you're speaking about that, I feel like even though we are all feeling quite tired, or I'm speaking for myself, but a lot of people I'm hearing are feeling quite worn down by holding this line and this awakened perspective year in and year out. And yet it's like, this feels like one final great opportunity for us to awaken and activate and heal and bring so much out in the open.
Yeah.
So, but it is a bit of a feeling also like purging to me. It feels like we're
Yeah.
getting the toxin, as you said, cleansing. It's not only the toxin in our bodies. A lot of times when I'm doing sessions with people, they are literally feeling sick and toxic from all the stuff that they're working through and letting go of, whether it's personal karma from past lives, if it's family relationship stuff.
Yeah.
It's just this energy of so much up leveling. And in order to do that, we have to get rid of the old toxic programs that are inside of us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of uncomfortable going through that, because just like when you're going through a healing crisis and your body is purging, or you have a fever and your body's trying to cleanse the toxins or the parasitic energies out, it is uncomfortable during that process. And yet, what we have to look forward to, and I just keep hearing when I'm listening to astrology these days, I've been waiting for so very long to start seeing the lights at the end of the tunnel, and we're turning those corners, and I'm hearing that this is a completion about a lot of this. So
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Wow, that is really freaking exciting. And we're getting such great comments. Thank you guys so much. T-Boss444 says, what about health issues being cleansed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely health issues being cleansed. But I feel like, and let me know what you feel, ASHALA, I feel like what Pisces teaches us is that to really heal, we need to honor the body, mind, spirit connection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's missing from Western medicine. That's what's missing from pharmaceuticals. It's the negative side of Pisces. And by the way, you guys, I'm not against all Western medicine. I know that some people can really benefit from some things. So again, I'm not a medical expert, but just saying the negative side of Pisces is just give a drug for everything.
Yes.
It's that Pisces illusion. Here's a drug, it's fixed, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's total like negative side of Pisces, right? Whereas
Right.
the truth is, if you really want to heal from something, like ASHALA said, a real deal deep issue, that is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes some real acknowledgement and work and strength and real detox to go through that. So yeah, T-Boss 444, we're definitely in a time where we can heal health issues, but it's not what's being let go now with these eclipses is here's your pill, you're fixed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the Pisces is the subconscious. Where did that manifest from
Mm-hmm.
for that to have been created in my body? The subconscious.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
Right?
Definitely. Yes. And I've heard people saying that, what they're noticing is that they'll have these symptoms coming out of nowhere that will really be extreme. And then in 24 hours, 48 hours, they're completely gone.
Right.
So when you were talking about the question about, can we heal physical conditions as we go through these upgrades and up leveling, and I really believe we can. I believe that's what's happening, is so much is moving through us at a very rapid pace.
Yeah.
And for myself, the way I've been approaching my health is that I'm giving, a few days. If something's happening, I'm not immediately, as Meg was saying, running for the pill to fix it or the whatever. I'm letting my body speak to me, but I'm also not overreacting to what it's doing. I'm just observing and holding space and letting it have its release or whatever it needs to show me.
Right.
And often I'm noticing that the symptoms are calming down within sometimes, as much as 24 or 48 hours.
Wow.
And I've been hearing this from a lot of my clients as well. So it feels to me like a lot of what you're saying about the Pisces energy and what this next 6 months could be like for us.
Right. Yeah. And again, I just want to say I'm not trying to shame anyone or guilt anyone that is taking medication or pills, because,
Mhm.
of course, we've been in this society where it's been put on us from such an early age. There's so much natural, way of living that we've forgotten, that we're
Yes.
going to remember right now how to heal ourselves.
Mhm.
And, for me, I'll share something personally. Like, I have really big issues with my moon time, and I have very severe pain when I get my moon time.
Mhm.
And it's still not something that I have really like totally healed from. And when that comes, I have to take some extra strength ibuprofens because it is just like so bad, right?
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
know, okay, Meg, this is not like, you're going to have to do the real deal, alternative method that you haven't tried yet, of why is this happening this
Yes.
way? What
Yes.
is this?
Yes.
Right?
And we're noticing that there are many, almost, I want to say, collective symptoms of how people's bodies are trying to say, you know what, I can't hold that frequency anymore. When you're speaking about the moon time, what that brings to mind and to heart for me is it's that frequency of, all of us being to some degree put into still patriarchal dominant sort of culture and society where the value is placed on how productive you are,
Uh,
how much success and money you make, and all of those kinds of things. And so the feminine side, which says, gosh, we have all the time in the world. We're going to go nice and slow. We're going to take our time and be in nature and be with children and be with animals and make good food.
mhm.
That isn't so highly prized. So our bodies, I think, are saying, I can't hold this dominant frequency of always forcing or being forced to be in this system. My body is going, yeah, it doesn't quite feel in alignment with that. So I think our bodies are speaking to us. And a lot of people I've noticed have been talking about, stomach issues,
Mm,
digestion. And it's like we're being asked to digest all of this
wow.
false reality, right? So it's like our bodies are going, no, I can't hold that. I can't just play along anymore.
Oh my God, that's so true. That's such a good point. And we've got someone here, J. Roach Duke says, Meg, what is a moon time? I've never heard that phrase before. So that's
Mhm.
kind of a natural way that a woman would say, I guess the English mainstream word would be period,
Yeah.
right? Period,
Yeah.
which is completely a word. Like, when you think about that, Ashala, what the frick?
Period, or menstruation. Yeah, there it's
It's like, okay.
well, and I think what you're referring to, Meg, is that the cycle, the natural woman cycle follows the cycle of the moon.
Mhm.
It's a lunar cycle that where there's 13 moons in a year, and that the women's cycle follows that. So yeah, it's almost like it's doing its thing outside of this dominant system already.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that our bodies are giving us some clues about we obviously we can't change everything overnight. We're not going to be able to stop being, interacting in these ways and being involved in these paradigms entirely, right? But
Yeah.
I was getting on my live this week just a little adjustment. If you can adjust 10% this year, you can just turn the dial a little bit to this side, right?
Mhm.
I'm not just going to push myself all the way to, 100% pedal to the metal. I'm going to just hold back a little bit and go, yeah, I'm going to
Mhm.
start edging over here.
Yeah.
And I feel like we'll feel relief. I believe our bodies will feel grateful for that as well. So
I love that. And that really speaks to me because I got my moon in Capricorn. Don't know if you know that. So I can be really hard on myself and, okay, go, 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 work, which is not the divine feminine energy,
yeah.
right? So yeah, I think, and like you said, that's been programmed into a lot of the women. Not that we can't work, not that we can't achieve, but we have cycles. with the moon, and we go through huge ebbs and flows. And we also get very affected by the eclipses. I'm happy that we're bringing this up. Women in particular, really good time with the eclipses and an eclipse season to slow down, really processing it and feeling it physically for the collective, definitely. Ashala, would you maybe want to do a tarot card reading for us for this full moon? I don't know how you'd maybe want to frame that, if there's a specific way we can ask for guidance. Is there something you're feeling?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a focused answer spread for that, which is just like basically asking, what do we need to know, or what's best, what's in our highest interest to be aware of at this time. This particular, well, shall I do it about the full moon and the eclipse? I'll just wrap those in together.
Yeah.
I'm always so excited to see what comes up. Okay, so here's us. We are showing up as justice. And the answer, what do we need to be aware of? What do we need to be working with? You know, interesting. I often see this card, the justice card, as what I want to call the karma card. And so it's a little bit like a lot of things are karmically being balanced out right now. So this particular full moon, this particular lunar eclipse, it's interesting that you were talking about you know, the 6-month period, because I feel like I'm seeing here possibly even for the next 6 or 7 months.
Wow.
We are doing so much bringing out in the open these karmic things that have been happening, you know, bringing justice. Like, to me, it's almost like with this, because the 7 of Swords is a strategy card, and this is kind of like the general answer, is strategizing with the mind. So it is to some degree looking for more information, bringing more awareness about how the injustices have affected us. So I really do feel like this full moon, this lunar eclipse, is actually starting some other karmic cycle in motion where we're going to see even more information coming out. And I would guess that that would be in the mainstream as well. Because when we see these two cards side by side like this, it's like, it's kind of like going beyond the point of no return. It's so much information that, you know, possibly even 70% of all the channels, all the mainstream channels, like 70% of the truths will be coming out in the next 6 or 7 months is what I'm getting.
Wow.
So, and this is starting, it feels like this is starting something like that. Okay, so here we are in the past, the Hermit. We've been holding our inner light and just shining that light, staying strong, staying clear. All of us truth warriors have been holding that light of truth in the darkness, you know, for a really long time. Like people like myself and some of you truthers that have been doing this for decades. It's like a lonely path for a lot of years. And this is a karmic, I want to say, like a return of something, something coming around full circle. Maybe that will make more sense with the astrology that you're sharing with us. But it's like things are coming into balance. And oh my goodness, look at this. So in the center is Queen of Pentacles. And interesting, we were talking about the way that attitude of how we're going to be in the world and work and make money and that sort of thing. And the King of Pentacles, he's the most successful, financially actualized of all the court characters. But the Queen is actually, in a way, I want to say, more heart-centered in her resource. She's so incredibly generous, but she's also so capable of creating a lot of financial wealth and abundance and yeah, like generosity. She operates from this place of generosity and she attracts, we call her the magnet queen. She attracts wealth. So this is also setting in motion what we were talking about earlier, where we're not going to necessarily want to be pushing ourselves to that nth degree for the sake of making money. We're going to be holding back a bit and almost like working more about balancing the inequalities and working in a more feminine way, but a super strong way. Like she's very, very successful, very, very generous. And then, okay, here we go. So this, there will be a lot of people in a lot of anxiety coming up. So it's also because you were talking about the Pisces energy of can't we just take a pill for that? Can't we just, have some kind of substance that takes us away from all of this? So a lot of people are going to find the overwhelm, and to some degree, they're going to find a way to check out with this Pisces energy. So interesting. We've got a 9 above that queen. We've got a 9 below that queen. Let's see what our advice says for us to do. Wow. Okay. Big transformation. Another 9. The 9 of Wands. So this, you were talking about 6 months. I'm getting 7, 8, 9 months. Wow. And yet it is a complete up leveling of how we're going to work with resources, how we're going to work with money. There's going to be a lot of, I want to say, healthy financial systems that have a more lateral, diverse, feminine sort of approach, but they're super strong and powerful as well. So that's kind of what I'm getting. This full moon feels like it's setting a lot of energy in motion.
Wow. Well, that makes perfect sense, Ashala, because I don't know if you know, but the eclipses are, moving into that Pisces Virgo axis, and we're actually working with this Pisces energy for the whole next over 2 years.
Oh, okay.
And all those eclipses in Pisces are full moon lunar, very big karmic releases. So it makes sense what you're saying. This goes beyond even 6 months, right?
Okay. Yeah. I mean this death card, and people get very worried about this. It's like, okay, well, we want a lot of the old to die. And I love seeing this trinity of justice, this Queen of Pentacles, and the death card, because it's like for everything that dies, it's almost like they're showing me half a dozen new things are born that are so much healthier, so much more, again, a win-win, not like winners and losers, have and have not all this big hierarchy.
Right.
But it's also, it's very grounded. It's very earth-based. This isn't some idea like a, socialist ideal or something. This is very practical. It's a lot about, the people that actually are prepared to, roll up their sleeves and get involved in the real world of building new stuff, creating new systems. They're going to be the leaders.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is exciting. It's very exciting.
Okay. I love that. That is so, so exciting. Thank you so much for that, Ashala. And T-Boss444 says, oh, that is such good news, Ashala, about the dying and new things coming. Right? And that's cool with Pisces too, because it is with Scorpio, kind of the 2 signs that rule death, right? And the other side, but also resurrection and reincarnation. And like you said, when something dies, new things are always born.
Yes, and we had, I forgot to mention about these 3 nines. So here's the 3 nines, 9 of swords, 9 of wands, and the hermit, which is also the number 9th major arcana. And whenever I have 3 of a kind, I consider it to be a blessing.
Wow.
And the number 9 is really about, it's the final synthesis of all the energy. It's sort of like the gathering and pulling things together. So it's that final step in this transformation, this big death and rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and the blessing, we have a blessing with that. It's going to be easier than we think, is what I'm hearing.
Oh, okay. That's very good news. It's going to be easier than we think.
Yeah.
I love that because in the current astrology, you know, we have Neptune in Pisces and Granddaddy Saturn in Pisces, as I like to call him. And the last time we had Neptune and Saturn both in Pisces was the 1550s in the medieval times. And
Wow.
really interesting, actually. Let me see if I can bring this up. I was going to bring it up on the Navigating the Woo show today, but then we just didn't get around to it. But I'll show you guys, you know, if you look at the art, the medieval art of the mid 1500s, it's very apocalyptic. And a lot of people thought, because Pisces can be paranoia, right? It's the end of the world. Everything's falling apart. We're all going to die. Oh my God, I have to go in the basement and hide there for 5 years, right? It's like, no, that's just Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. It's not, and this isn't just one painting. And I'm sorry, I don't know what artist this was, but you know, me being in Belgium for the past 4 years, Jens has taken me to a lot of the medieval art museums, and there's so many pieces like this from the mid 1500s where it's very Piscean, like it's the end of the world, it's all going to fall apart. You know, it's like, no, that's just the Pisces, the very strong Pisces. You know, so
Isn't
I always
that so comforting in a way? You know, it's very comforting that these things, these cycles have gone around before. And you know, people talk a lot about the prophecies and the apocalyptic energy. And I often am acknowledging that prophecies were designed to give us warnings so that we could change our behaviors and take the invitation to, you know, heal, evolve, and up level, as opposed to going over the deep end, right? So
right.
it's a prophecy isn't meant to be fulfilled. A challenging prophecy is designed to prevent that from happening, not to make sure that it does happen. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Well, should we get into our special readings for each of the elemental astrological signs?
Definitely, definitely. What's first on the list? And I'll start shuffling.
Yeah, so first on the list is the fire signs. Okay. So this full moon lunar eclipse. And do you want to do the tarot first, Ashala, or do you want to talk about the astrology first for each one? What do you think?
I think I'll do the tarot first.
Let's do
Because
that.
we'll just, without me knowing much
Yeah.
about it, let's just see what the cards say, and
Yeah.
then we can refer and you know, team up on analyzing that.
Yeah.
So the fire signs.
Sorry, Ashala. Tiger One says this show is perfect. Please do more of these two gals. Well, we'll see you guys every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to pull 3 cards for the fire, 3 cards for all the different elements.
Cool.
So here we go. 3 cards for fire. Look at that again. You saw me shuffling. Here's that karma card again. Oh my goodness. Happy ever after, over the rainbow. And oh my goodness. Okay. So this is quite,
Wow.
I want to say, a lot of juxtaposition. This is like being on a roller coaster ride. It's like they're saying, you know, our collective guides and the guides of the fire signs are saying, you know, buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a turbulent ride here. I'm almost getting, let's focus on the next 10 to 15 days. I don't feel like this is going on indefinitely with the fire signs. I'm getting this as kind of more short term.
Mm,
And what I'm hearing is this is fierce energy around bringing balance between our hearts and our egos. I mean, I think about the fire signs as being very determined, very connected to their will force, right?
mm,
And so they have, in a way, quite a strong ego, because that's part of that self-determination, that let's get things done, make things happen. And so what's being the tightrope walk, it feels like for me over the next 10 to 15 days for the fire signs, is that there's going to be these bursts of really powerful emotion, almost like a euphoria, and
mm,
then some really intense, I want to say, sort of ego, well, kind of like karmic ego clearing.
mm.
So not necessarily the easiest, but what I want to bring your attention to with this character is that people get really hung up on this character. It's like, oh no, we're scared. We're going down the wrong path. How can happily ever after over the rainbow be followed by this? I call him,
Right.
the medicine character, because he brings the medicine of clearing, especially it's sort of like the parasite energy,
Mm,
clearing and healing. So it's almost like this euphoria is going to come in, and as a result of the heart opening like that, it's going to bring up all this stuff that needs to be released. So quite a rocky 10 days to 2 weeks, but it feels like the important thing with this is to not get stuck in this. It's going to be temporary. It's the devil is the 15 energy, and the number fives are the frequency of growth. They're very temporary. And when you add the 5 and the 1 of the devil together, it's a 6. 6 is harmony. It's coming back into balance. So a greater balance between the heart and the ego with the fire signs is what I'm hearing.
wow, Ashala, that is so amazing. And that is like totally right on. Oops, I got the earth signs. So for the fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, they're all having this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces happen in water sign houses,
There's the water, the cups.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
emotion, water.
Emotions, healing, getting to the root of things. And the fire signs are great because they're about fun and play and action and extroversion and being out in the world and living life to the fullest. But one of the challenges for the fire signs can be, let's go deep, let's stop, let's chill for a sec. And what do we need to heal? Reflection, right? Checking ourselves. So, oh my God, that makes so much sense, Ashala. So for Aries, they're having this Pisces eclipse in their 12th house. Aries are having it activate their 12th house of the Pisces ruled areas. So, spirituality, behind the scenes, healing. Leos are having it happen in their 8th house of Scorpio, which is about death, rebirth, transformation, intensity, the devil card.
Yeah.
And the Saggies are having it happen in their 4th house of Cancer, which is about real, like the most vulnerable part of the chart, right? Ashala is the 4th house. It's the bottom of the chart. Our family, our ancestors, our emotions.
Look at the family there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the fire signs are having this Pisces eclipse happen, as I said, in the water elemental houses of emotions, spirituality, and healing. And you guys can be experiencing big releases or illumination, clarity come through in those areas of life. So we love you, fire signs, and we're wishing you a very happy eclipse.
And put your seatbelts on.
And put your seatbelts on.
But don't get stuck, because it won't last for long.
Yeah.
You'll be back to your better version, the up level version of your old self in no time.
Mm-hmm. So should we do the earth signs next?
Please, 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 please.
And you guys can listen to your sun, moon, and rising. And I also invite you guys, because it's a lunar eclipse, to listen to your moon sign in particular as well. Sometimes the moon can really resonate when it's a full moon lunar eclipse.
All right, earth signs, here we go. More cups, more watery energy, the joy celebration card. Oh gosh, this is kind of interestingly almost the reverse. At 10 of Wands is like just burdened by so much energy output, like real exhaustion, a lot of irons in the fire with this card, and back to cups again. So almost like the inversion of the fire signs. We've got, you know, a water celebration, joy, playfulness. You'll be maybe feeling quite buoyant and joyful, even though you're tired, even though your energy stores are maybe a bit depleted, and it may feel quite energetically demanding for you. And again, I'm getting it. We've got another, 10 here. So 10 days, maybe a little bit longer than even just the window of the eclipse. But look at this, the inner child returns. So a temporary kind of exhaustion phase, a lot of energy moving, frequency moving through your system. So resting a lot, but joyful cards on both sides of that. So love it.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. So for our lovely earth signs, which is the Taurus, Virgos, and Capricorns, I'll just get rid of that comment. This lunar eclipse in Pisces today on September 17th, during this day, eclipse season, and for the whole next 6 months possibly, this is activating air houses. Okay. So the air houses are about relationships, social ability, and information that we're taking in. So it's interesting for the earth signs because you guys love to be responsible, achieving, being of service, focused on the material. They also, what I noticed with earth signs too, ASHALA, and let me know what you think, they like to be in their own rhythm. And it's interesting what you said there. I can't remember exactly what you said there, but they could be feeling tired from something, right? Maybe
energy. A lot of energy. Yeah.
Right. Some of that might be coming from, there could be a lot going on for the earth signs with other people in their lives.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like, I would say, it's funny you're talking about relationship and, connecting with people. And interesting, we didn't have any swords, which is normally associated with air and thoughts and ideas. So it's almost like you're going to be doing a lot of this air activation, relationship activation with your emotions. So again, that Piscean energy, it's going to be an emotional journey of experiencing it. They're saying almost like just random experiences of joy. And I think when I think of earth signs, I think they're pretty serious people, right? So for them to just be like, kind of like playfully, whimsically joyful, spontaneously, I think this is going to feel really delightful. And also this is the inner child card. So some part of their little joyful, heart-centered child self is coming out to play during this time. But that might be kind of exhausting for them because they are used to being very pragmatic and organized and practical and everything. So
yeah, that's so true. And I feel like for the earth signs, it's the most heavy sign, right? It's the earth element. And so with this, eclipse activating your air houses, if you're a Taurus, it's the 11th house of Aquarius, Virgo, it's the 7th house of Libra, Capricorn, it's the 3rd house of Gemini. Be open, right? Air is about openness, being social. Be open to some things that might make you uncomfortable. Be open to possibly relationships that you're letting go of at this time that might be uncomfortable, but also new ones coming in that can be really cool and maybe different from what you're used to, that you can have very intense emotional new connections with people that might be tiring as well, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And there was a comment here about dehydration with the 10 of wands. Just gone down here a little bit. Joey said that. And yes, look at that. We've got cups on either side of that. So something to do with staying really hydrated. I think that's probably good advice for all of us during this Piscean energy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we love you, Earth signs out there, and we're wishing you a very happy eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
And now we'll go to the air signs.
All righty. Let's do it.
And let us know in the comments, you guys, if these readings are resonating. We're getting some people saying they are, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Well, I fall into this category, so I'm very curious. Oh, interesting. This card wanted to, so the inner child wanted to come up, but just stay down at the bottom. So we'll look at that at the end. 3 cards. Oh, wow. So we've got the big healing angel, the temperance balance, coming into balance. Oh, wow. Look at this.
Whoa.
Another cup energy, harmony in relationships, divine union, and a big upgrade. So we've got 2 major arcana here. This feels to me like a lot of inner emotional healing work that allows us to up level to more emotionally fulfilling relationships. It's a lot about connecting very deeply with through our hearts, and this is a big upgrade. So look at that. There's the angelic energy on both sides.
Wow.
So, and then we think about the angel realm is the air. So there is an air influence in this, but it feels almost like divine intervention. That the air signs may be experiencing some unprecedented divine intervention that helps them come into their hearts and be open to more emotionally fulfilling relationships.
That is really powerful, isn't it? With all those 3 top cards have those wings.
They do. You're right. That's right. Even the middle one does.
Yeah.
Divine intervention all the way. I'm a little getting the goosebumps about that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. So for our beautiful air signs, you're having this Pisces lunar eclipse happen in the earth elemental houses of material resources, work, income, and responsibility as well. So it kind of feels like they're having a divine intervention in those houses. And I feel like too, with the air signs, you guys are so smart, so intellectual, so curious. It's very inner childlike too. It's cool that what was that bottom
The
card?
little Page of Cups.
The Page of Cups, because I always feel like air signs can even be like that little Page of Cups. They're so curious. They're so open, a lot more than us water signs. I'm a Scorpio, or the earth signs, right? Air and fire are more open and curious. And so it's like, you guys are really going to be called as we step into this age of Aquarius frequency to help all the rest of us be open-minded. Be open-minded to the information that's coming out, new roles that are coming out. I think a lot of you air signs will be letting go of work roles, income streams, material resources that don't serve you anymore, that there may have been even karmic connections to. Some heavy stuff, and it's like that divine intervention of the angels coming in, like, we're getting you out of here.
Out of here. Well, then it's interesting that it's almost like prioritizing if it is around work and what did you say the houses that are connected to
Yeah, so
finances and work and resources?
yeah, the earth houses.
Okay, so it's like almost we're going to access the stepping up. There's a lot of upgrade energy in this, but it's going to be not at the expense of our emotional fulfillment or our inner child. So it's almost like our hearts are going to help us find the up-leveled
Right.
version of our work and resource reality. We're going to find it through our hearts. Definitely not through our heads. So far, we've seen not a single sword. Let's see what happens for
for none of the signs of sword.
So far, not one. Yeah.
Okay, so cool. Well, last but not least is our magical water signs.
Yes. Yes. Always so curious.
Yeah. And by the way, the water signs will be really feeling it because it's a water sign eclipse. Right?
I can see this card is there again. It is, oh my gosh. So karma again, karma and things coming into balance, things coming like what comes around goes around, and balance and harmony being restored. 7 of Wands, so close. This is the Valor card. Stay the line, hold your course. You're on the right frequency. And you'll have the energy to sustain. There's something, very different about this around, different from that 10 of Wands that we saw and the Devil card in the first one. It's like the water signs will have, I want to say, the staying power. And okay, there's our one sword. Oh my gosh. So for the water signs, they're going to be able to feel that their time of, I want to say, things coming back around or things coming into balance and harmony karmically, they're going to receive the benefit of what they've done, especially in the last 7 years. So there'll be a lot of payback around what you've already accomplished, and you'll need to hold the line. And interestingly, it feels like, because this card, Knight of Swords, the first sword we've seen, it's a rally cry card. It is a bit of a revolution card, but this character is hot under the collar. He's upset. He's got a bone to pick. He's on a bit of a mission. And so it feels like for the water signs, you may be experiencing your own anger, repressed anger that is coming out. And that is something to be working with. Also, that there may be anger and confrontation coming in your direction. And yet I just am really feeling, I'm going to pull a card to see for the water signs. Okay, yeah. It seems as though we're looking at, they've got the energy to stay the course, and recognize that other people do not. There's something about having some compassion right now, to really see how many people are kind of at the end of their rope.
Wow.
And I think the water signs are very capable of having that empathy, that compassion, and not getting into the fights with others. So that feels like the message for the water signs.
That is so powerful, because the water signs are having this eclipse activate fire elemental houses. And I love that you just used that term, staying power, right? It's like the fire that is lit, the flames, I love that the water signs have the fire houses being activated, because this is about staying power, energy, passion.
Mhm.
Fun extroversion, also being in the spotlight, showing your gifts, being able to feel strong so that we can also feel strong for others. Because some of the other signs, and of course, everybody has unique individual astrology, we're talking about in general.
Mhm.
The water signs will be able to cope with this in a way that I think the other signs may not. It'll
Yes.
be more challenging for the other signs, which is funny because usually you would think, okay, if it's in Pisces, then the Pisces will be going crazy. But Pisces have been Pisces their entire lives. They know what
Mhm.
Pisces is,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
That's exactly right. In a way, it's a bit of a power place for them, right?
Yeah.
And this feels like when you said that about, they're going to be maybe more visible, more in the spotlight, and that would be where they may attract confrontation.
Mm,
So it's not, you're not doing something wrong if that's happening. If you're feeling that there's some aspect of repressed anger coming out, or that you are attracting confrontation, again, as Meg was saying, this is all about energy, the ego, the determination, the creative force being activated. And so there's going to be some effects about that, but just hold the line, and this too shall pass pretty rapidly, I feel.
wow. Awesome. You guys go, water signs.
Yes, you
Amazing.
do.
They're gonna be doing it feels like really stepping into their power, and, I've experienced that. I don't know about you, Ashala, but when you really step into, like, your empowerment, some people may be triggered by that on the outside, and
Yes.
also you can have things come up within you as well of, like, "Why didn't I do this sooner?" Or just random, like, frustrations coming up, right?
Mhm. Definitely. And
Yeah.
that's probably what that is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So beautiful. Is there anything that you feel like sharing, Ashala, before we finish up today's first As Above, So Below show?
I am really excited about all the different varieties of readings that we can do, the different varieties of, I feel that what this show is called, As Above, So Below, it's like as we grow and heal and learn more about ourselves, we affect the cosmos, and the
Yep.
cosmos is, what's going on in the stars, the astrological configurations are affecting us. So
Mm,
it's a joint effort and experience, and I'm excited that we're going to be reflecting both the above and the below.
yes. Yay. I'm so excited. I feel so good.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
Awesome. And can you share with everybody, Ashala, your psychic tarot readings? What can people expect, or what are some themes coming up when you're doing the readings lately?
Yes, well, there's a whole variety of things, really. What is lovely is that we have the opportunity, because I do a big picture overview spread at the beginning of each session. We have the opportunity to look into all the different areas of an individual's life just to get a snapshot in time, what's happening for them, what their guides want them to be aware of before I know anything about them, before we talk about any of their questions or any of their concerns. So it gives us that sort of framework that allows us to launch in a direction and go into much deeper inquiry. And it feels like so many people are receiving a great benefit from that at this time, because there is a lot to sort out. And I love looking at questions about, should I buy or sell a house, or should I take this job, or should I go traveling, or, should I do repair with a relationship with my
Mm,
family? And those very specific questions. Sometimes we have those going around in our psyche for weeks and months and even years. And doing a session like this allows us to focus in on that, allow your spirit guides to communicate with you directly, and receive insights about how you can shift that and start, having some momentum in your life in a positive direction.
Love it. Awesome. And you guys can go book a reading with ASHALA over at consultations.beyondmystic.net. The link is in the description box below. And I think we have a discount code, Beyond Mystic, all in one word, that you can use to get 10% off. And we also want to mention too that my husband Jens is going to be doing this 30-day meditation challenge on the Beyond Mystic Academy, which is going to start on October 2nd, the new moon solar eclipse in just 2 weeks. So this is really great because it's very price affordable, this 30-day meditation challenge. It's on a donation sliding scale, starting at $17 all the way to $177. So whatever you feel to put in as a donation. And every day from October 2nd to, I think it's November 1st, Jens is going to do a live guided 20-minute meditation. And it's so powerful to do this together during these times to calm our nervous systems, to navigate the energies that are happening. So go check that out over on the beyondmystic.academy as well.
And I have a question about that, Meg. So that's going to be live and then it'll be recorded. So if you purchase this, you'll be able to hear the recording as well?
That's right. Really good question. Yeah. So if people on each of those days can't tune in live at 6 p.m. Eastern every day, the replay will be immediately available. That's
wonderful.
Right.
Oh, that's exciting.
Awesome. Well, we love you guys so much, and we're wishing you an absolutely magical full moon lunar eclipse. And we will see you next Tuesday for another episode of As Above, So Below.
Looking forward to it. Blessings. Bye for now, everyone.
Love you guys. Bye.